that being equal to all citizens is Raja Dharma, is the Dharma of kings. Yena abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhi sadharma. Yena abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhi sadharma. One line to say, Shlokardhena pravakshami yaduktam grantha kotibhi. And then that, what is that Shlokardha? Okay. Brahma satya jagan mithya jivo brahmaiva na paraha. One beautiful, the most profound line that says it all. From Bharatiya point of view, soul is always at peace. There is no question of resting at peace. We are not at peace because we don't understand soul. As long as we identify with bodies, there is pain and there is grief. More we begin to understand the soul, we will understand our own eternal self, capital S. Now today also we have lot of, so to say, pending and very significant questions, and my own perception regarding those questions about what I should share with you in light of prelims. But I am going to pick up one question as the first one because Purnima is outstanding student of Chanakya Mandal. The question is pertinent. A large part of it will have very less to do with prelims. Somehow I thought of starting today with that question, with a usual hope that you enjoy that discussion. It of course will go for a while way beyond prelims, but I will try to keep it as short as possible. Almost every one of you may have heard me say this way or that way in some or other context, okay, that Atma in Bharatiya philosophy is not same as soul in, say, Western or Christian concepts. This keeps happening. The larger point is what fortunately recently is being very correctly called as Sanskrit non-translatables. That there are some Sanskrit terms which really do not have exact expression in English. Take the word dharma. And religion is not the English translation of the word dharma. Indian word dharma has lots and lots of meanings. And still all of them together are one. So it originates from Sanskrit verb dhru. Dhru is to hold together. एकत्र पकडून ठेवणे. So dharma means that which holds together. And that which, what does it hold together? The answer is everything. That which holds together you, that which holds together you and the society, that which holds together you and the society and the cosmos. Beautiful original Bharatiya words are Vyashti, Samashti and Srushti. Vyashti is a person. Samashti is the whole society. And Srushti is cosmos, everything. And how every word is beautiful and deeply meaningful. Even the term Srushti originates from the Sanskrit verb which means the one that is manifest. Srujana, the one that has been created, is Srushti. In simple terms, dharma could also mean justice. If you are well conversant with all Indian languages including Marathi and still well conversant with the terminology, how often one tells the other that what you did is adharma. Adharma, tu ha adharma kelas. It also has lots of meanings. So what you did is not the right thing. So dharma stands for doing the right thing. So dharma is also ethics then. Dharma is also justice. So when a citizen tells the king or government that you didn't follow your dharma, it also means that you did not do justice. But then in this case, dharma also means duty, kartavya. That being equal to all citizens is Raja Dharma, is the dharma of kings. And like teaching is my dharma as of now, and learning is your dharma if you believe you are not just students who have paid some money, but again, as usual, in the profoundest possible sense, if you believe you are Vidyarthi. Look at the beauty of the word. Vidya plus Arthi is those who are here to seek knowledge. And of course, marks, yes, but marks as a byproduct of that knowledge. Marks as a consequence of command over knowledge. Vidyarthi. Dharma also means duty. Okay. Dharma also means innate qualities. That whichever ones are those innate qualities in the person. If I can very briefly really use 2-3 phrases, then one of the best definitions of dharma is dharana dharma mityahu. Dharana is the one that holds, upholds. So what is dharma? The one that upholds. Dharana dharma mityahu. Okay? Dharmo dharayate praja. What does dharma uphold? It upholds the society. Another definition that I had reminded in Emi Ganatra's session, because in her talk she had talked about this first part. So I said I will take this opportunity to also remind one more definition, and that says Yena abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhi sadharma. Yena abhyudaya nishreyasa siddhi sadharma. So abhyudaya means material well-being. Abhyudaya means our rise in the material world. So like being rich, फलो फूलो दूधो नहाओ etc. जो कहा जाता है, or many Sanskrit couplets that say, may your house be filled with richness and wealth and milch animal etc. This is all abhyudaya. And nishreyasa is the spiritual upliftment. So dharma in Bharatiya way looks after both components. Dharma is not only about the nether world, some other world, something that is beyond the life as we understand, this birth as we understand, this body, this 3+1 dimension in which we claim to live. Dharma is not something beyond that. Dharma is this one also, and the spiritual upliftment also. Yena abhyudaya nishreyasa. Nishreyasa is spiritual upliftment. In fact, there also, let me tell you, the English word spiritual is not the exact word for adhyatma. So again, adhyatma is a deeply, profoundly meaningful word. I will try to save my time over there, as are many words. Dharma in Bharatiya way, okay, is not something that someone establishes. Dharma is something that exists. And the great rishis, seers, they don't establish or found dharma, they only discover the principles. That is Bharatiya idea of dharma. So if one says someone founded or established a certain dharma, okay, in Bharatiya terminology, that is pantha. Pantha is a path to lead to the truth. So one person finds one path to reach that one truth. That is also there from Vedas till current times. That final truth is one. You may call it Brahma, okay? You may call it God, you may call it Allah. Bharatiya concept is, yes, that final truth is one, and that there are many paths to lead to that truth. So one person reaches that truth by following a certain path. Then that person starts telling the society that I have reached the truth, I have realized God by following this path. You want to do the same, please follow me. Okay? But no Indian thinker ever says that my path is the only true path. He or she always says there are many paths. So in Indian way, dharma is not something that someone establishes, founds. Then it is pantha. Dharma are the principles of life, the principles of universe, the principles of existence that are there, whether we understand them or not, they are there. But the rishis find those principles in their meditative state and then start telling them to us. That becomes dharma. There also my closest metaphor would be, we don't say Newton established gravitational force. We say Newton found gravitational force. So even until Newton came up with his own inverse square law, that the gravitation between any two bodies is inversely proportional to the square of the distance, okay? That law was there. All that happened is Newton found it out. And then after about 350 years, Einstein comes up and says, no, that is not gravitational force. Gravitational force is only a curvature in the space-time fabric. So he says there is no other force like gravitational force. There is a space-time fabric in which there is matter, therefore the fabric develops a curvature. So Einstein comes up and says gravitational force is curvature in the space-time fabric. There also we don't say Einstein established another gravitational force. And similarly, remember, we don't say there is a fight between Newton and Einstein, that my God is only true God. My description of gravitational force is only true description of gravitational force. And if you say something different, then your God, your description is wrong, so you are my enemy and I have to convert you to my opinion. That is not Indian way of looking at things. It is one perspective. It's a matter of perspective, that Newton understood something and offered one perspective. 350 years after that, Einstein developed another perspective and offered it. That is the concept behind Indian dharma, Bharatiya word dharma. Okay? So automatically, this even brief exposition will remind you of the beautiful term called Sahishnuta, which I have explained the other day. Today I am going to make a choice of not spending time on that. But there is no exact English translation for the term Sahishnu, because the Western or Islamic civilization hasn't reached there. That the root of that Sahishnuta is a realization that while truth is one, there could be different paths to reach the same truth. And all of us are finally to be one with that final truth. So let there be no hatred, no bloodshed, no fight over saying, no, my path is the only true path and you have to convert to my path. Otherwise, I have every right to kill you, because by killing you, I am going to secure a position in heaven. No such. Throughout over 5,000 years of Bharatiya civilization, you never find this kind of explanation. Sahishnuta. Okay. Similarly, the word Atman. So whenever these issues come up, I have to make it a point to say that there is no exact English translation, because that civilization itself did not so far, okay, until it came in contact with India. It did not have the concept of Atman. So Purnima is asking what is the difference between then that soul and Atman. The most fundamental difference is, at the most fundamental level, for Bharat, Atman is Brahman, and soul in the Western or Christian concept is not and can never be one with God. In Bharatiya philosophy, Atman is Brahman, Jiva is Shiva. Whichever branch of Bharatiya philosophy you look upon, the essence I just told you is Advaita Vedanta. And within Vedanta there are various versions, which are all okay, because there is no enmity. They are seen as different interpretations. Okay. Similarly, today I hope to find out the time to talk to you about what is known as Shat Darshana. They can be there in prelims also. Shat Darshana. I will talk about them. But the only point I am making now is, early Western explanation of those Shat Darshana, 6 schools or 6 systems of philosophy, Bharatiya philosophy. Western interpreters interpreted them as something against each other. Okay, until Indian thinkers also learnt English and started telling them in their language, in English, and then explaining that they are not, it is not Nyaya versus Vaisheshika or Vaisheshika versus Sankhya. 6 schools or 6 systems, as they are called, are only different perspectives of understanding the same truth. There is no fight, there is no enmity. In fact, there are a lot of areas that converge or overlap with each other. So like when Shankaracharya summarizes entire Vedanta in half a line, in fact. So that is, there is only one beautiful shloka. You would do well to hopefully by heart it really. Even one line of a 2-line shloka Shankaracharya lays down takes one full line to say that I will tell you the meaning of Vedanta in one line. Shlokardhena pravakshami yaduktam grantha kotibhi. He takes the first line to only say that something that is told in crores and crores of books. Yaduktena grantha kotibhi. कोट्यवधी ग्रंथांमध्ये जे सांगितलं, यद जे उक्त is spoken, the one that is told. Shlokardhena pravakshami is I tell you, I will tell you. Shlokardhena, in half a shloka. So he takes this one line to say Shlokardhena pravakshami yaduktam grantha kotibhi, and then that, what is that Shlokardha? Okay, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. One beautiful, the most profound line that says it all. Brahma Satya, that final truth is Brahma, that is one. Jagan Mithya. Now there are many books written arguing that Indian philosophy looks upon this world as something false, untrue. Also the English word is illusion. That would be another of my Adhyatmic talk, telling you that Maya is not illusion in English. There is no English word for Maya in English. The term Maya comes from original Sanskrit root word ma. Ma is to measure. To measure. So Maya stands for everything that can be measured, that can be counted. So when we say Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, we are not saying that the world in which we live is false. Mithya means, if you think that this is the truth that you are saying, then you are under a wrong impression. That is called Mithya. Mithya. that your perception is false. Your perception is false. That is called mithya. And I guess I don't have to go far off or give you like 3 lectures, each one consisting of 2 hours. They are there on our YouTube channel, where I have explained the oneness of science and Adhyatma, Vijnana and Adhyatma. You are interested in it, take your own time to go there and listen. But when Shankaracharya also says Brahma Satya, that final truth is Brahma. Jagan Mithya. Mithya doesn't mean false. It means what you think is not the final truth. That is the sense of that Jagan Mithya. That this one, I'm sitting here. Okay. If I hold this in front of me, then sitting there you are not able to see what is behind this. So you may think that nothing pierces across this. That thinking is mithya. That is mithya. Okay? Because X-rays do travel across this. And gamma rays also travel across this. Our eyes don't. That is the limitation of our sensory organs. So it is called mithya. And this way the examples could just go on and on and on. Okay? For the sake of beauty, I'll just repeat with this one for like hopefully as less time as possible. That you think this is steady. I place it here. And you think it is steady. So I took a pause of 5 seconds to now start thinking of the beauty and the wonder, okay, that electron in every single atom of this one is revolving around proton at a speed just short of velocity of light. And another 5-second pause to let the sense of wonder sink in. That when we think this is steady, that is mithya. That is the limitation of our sensory organs. It appears to be steady. So it is called Maya. That this appears to be steady, while it is not. That the electrons are indeed revolving around the protons, like I repeat, at the velocity just short of velocity of light. If they achieve velocity of light, matter would transform into energy. So Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, okay? And then Shankaracharya goes on to say Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. That Jiva, us, and Brahma, the final truth, are no two things. They are not separate. Na aparaha. They are not two separate things. They are not two different things. Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. So in Bharatiya concept, Atman is eternal. It doesn't have material existence. And most of Indian philosophy is filled with beautiful description of this Atman. Some other day I will conduct a separate session. It is never born and never dies. A jara, a janma, and the description goes on. And Atman is Brahman. Jiva is a Shiva. In Christian terminology, when the term soul is mentioned, this is not the description of that soul. You will in fact also in a way see the difference between how good wishes are expressed after some person passes away. We use some terms inadvertently without understanding what they mean. So we hear the news of some person's death and we say rest in peace. From religious point of view or from philosophical point of view, rest in peace is a Christian term. Because in Christianity, you have only one life. In Islam and Christianity, you have only one life. Okay? And based on what kind of life you lived, God is going to pass a judgment on you on the day of judgment. That day of judgment is there in Bible. And in Islam also it's called Qayamat Ka Din. Qayamat Ka Din. Okay? Until then, rest in peace. That is the whole idea. That you have only one life. Whatever life you lived. Now if God is going to pass a final judgment on you, until then, rest in peace. But from Bharatiya point of view, if we start asking, who are you asking to rest in peace? Are you asking the body to rest in peace? The body is dead. Fortunately, it is biodegradable. So, you have माटी से जन्मे हो, माटी में ही मिल जाओगे. So, who are you asking to rest in peace? Soul? Okay, from Bharatiya point of view, soul is always at peace. There is no question of resting at peace. We are not at peace because we don't understand soul. As long as we identify with bodies, there is pain and there is grief. More we begin to understand the soul, we will understand our own eternal self, capital S. That is Atman. And that is Sat, Chit and Anand, Swarupa. Satchidananda Swarupa. Sat, that is the only truth. Chit is, it is Chaitanya, it is energetic. And its essential Swarup is Ananda Swarup. The happiness, bliss. Bliss is the closest beautiful English word for it. That it is Sat Chid Ananda, existence. Why am I forgetting the word? Consciousness. Closest English translation for Chit, again I will not go there today. But the closest English translation is consciousness and bliss. That is our true nature. That is what Indian philosophy says. So, when we die, who dies? The Atman doesn't. It's the body that dies. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam mritasya janma. So, in Indian concept, the body dies, but Atman doesn't. So, there is a concept of reincarnation. Birth is not the start and death is not the end. And as briefly as possible, but let me tell you that that is what even science has at least begun to point at. That yes, it is possible. Yes, birth may not be the start, and yes, death may not be the end. What we understand between birth and death is the madhya. So we come from the unmanifest into manifest, and we pass over into unmanifest. The only thing we understand is that middle one, the one that is Vyakta Madhyani Bharata. This is from Bhagavad Gita. That middle one is the one only we get to see. Okay. So deeper we start going, we begin to see that soul is not same as Atman. And Atman, finally, I'm going to make myself make a final point, even as I really see that while even I am thoroughly enjoying this, what is more important is most of you also seem to be equally thoroughly enjoying, in fact, understanding what I am saying. But still I am forcing myself to say just one small point. That in the ultimate analysis, Bharatiya philosophy has realized oneness of Atman with Brahman. So we say, you are God. Okay? Islam and Christianity don't say so. Not only that Islam and Christianity don't, or Western philosophy don't say so, in fact it is considered blasphemous, punishable by death. At philosophical level I am saying. And Christianity has undergone a lot of reform process, but there has been a time in Christianity where people have been killed or burnt at stake for saying something against religion, that you are talking against Bible, so you are to be burnt at the stake. You won't see that in Indian history ever, just because some person is expressing a different opinion. Okay, so much so, please remember that Charvak, okay, who blasts Vedas, criticizes every single philosophy of God and soul and rebirth and reincarnation. He says they are bullshitting. He says they are telling this to deceive you. He says it is only money-making proposition for them. Okay, he says, Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya punaragamanam kutaha. Okay, that once the body is burned down, there is no coming back. So what they are saying, it is all false. It is their money-making proposition. Okay, Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya punaragamanam kutaha. So what is his solution for living life? Charvaka says, Yavat jivet, sukham jivet, runam krutva ghrutam pibet. He says, this is the only life that we have. Yavat jivet, as long as you live, tava sukham jivet, live with happiness. But for Charvaka, happiness only means material happiness. So his next reference is runam krutva, karza kadun tupya, take loan, runam krutva, seek loan, ghruta is ghee. An indication of like richness and wealth, etc., etc. Okay, but then please remember that even in Bharatiya tradition, in our heritage, that Charvaka also is Rushi. He is not criticized, he is not burnt at stake, okay, he is not crucified. No king undertakes a war against Charvak saying you are saying the blasphemous philosophy. He is still respected. So much so that in fact the path of Charvaka gets the name Lokayata. Okay, Lokayata. And the literal meaning of the term Lokayata is the one that majority people follow. Lokayata, the one that majority people follow. That we may talk of Adhyatma a lot, but basically the kind of life most of us live, it is very material. We only look after material pursuits and we only want material richness and wealth and everything. So even Bharatiya philosophy says that Charvaka's path is Lokayata path. No original work of the Lokayata philosophy is available. You only find commentary on Lokayata philosophy in various, say, Upanishad, etc. Okay, but the point to be noted here is Charvaka also has a respectful position in Bharatiya heritage. Nobody looks down on him. Okay, but Bharatiya philosophy has realized oneness of Atman with Brahman. But Western philosophy in general, and talking of philosophy, Islam and Christianity do not agree that soul is one with God. In fact, at philosophical level, saying so is punishable by death. From Bharatiya philosophical viewpoint, Islam and Christianity are Dvaiti, dualistic philosophies, Dvaiti. That God is separate and we are separate. And that is why you will see that the only best thing we can hope is God's grace, Rahim. And God, Allah is Rahim Dil, Rahmanur Rahim. God bestows grace. Okay, the best we can hope is God's grace. But saying I am one with God is punishable by death. In the history of Christianity, that has actually happened many times. In the history of Islam also that has happened. For want of time, probably the best example is that of Sufi philosophy, which does say that you are one with God. But the traditional or dogmatic Islam doesn't accept this position. So there is the emperor of Persia after Iran converted to Islam, who crucified Sufi saint Al-Mansur. for saying Anal Haq. This is a Farsi Arabic statement, Anal Haq. Haq means the truth with capital T. Haq, H-A-Q. Anal Haq means I am that truth. So Anal Haq means Aham Brahmasmi. Not acceptable for the traditional, the dogmatic Islam. So the emperor of Persia caught him, caught Al-Mansur, brought him to his darbar, and he said, you are committing blasphemy, it is punishable by death. So Al-Mansur started laughing, saying, you think this is blasphemy, but I have understood Anal Haq. He kept saying Anal Haq. So the emperor tortured him in his darbar. And with every torture, Al-Mansur kept laughing, saying, what you are torturing is only my body. You can't do anything to me because Anal Haq. I am that truth. Aham Brahmasmi. So when Al-Mansur also was crucified, he told the emperor, you are only crucifying my body. But I am neither born nor dead. He says, you can't crucify me, you can't burn me, you can't bury me. He's practically saying in Arabic or Farsi, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha, the description of Atman. And when you understand that Atman, and also realize that that Atman is same as Brahman, Jiva is same as Shiva. That is to which everyone's life is leading. So much about Purnima's question on the difference between soul and Atman. Since I mentioned that line, I will only complete one more part. In India, after a person's body dies, actually our description is, the English closest translation is, may his Atma travel the path of light. Marathi, Hindi, Sanskrit, every word is Sadgati is the word. Sadgati. May his Atma get Sadgati. Okay? That sentence itself is based on the idea that you pay for your karma. Philosophy of karma. So whatever life you lived, acha, bura, good, bad, holy, sinful, etc., you are going to pay for it. Okay? So your Atma is going to travel that path until it gets an opportunity again to be born in bodily form. That continues until you begin to understand the whole game, Leela, and then perform your meditations to release and seek liberation, moksha. That is the understanding that Atman is Brahman, that you are God, Tat Tvamasi, Tat, that final truth, you are that final truth. Until that is called moksha. Again, no exact English word for moksha. The closest English could be liberation, or seeking or understanding that oneness with the original principle, that one with capital O, the Brahma, which is where I will make myself close this, otherwise it is all eminently enjoyable.